Sublight. The legitimate smuggling business.
You reckon we can shop here, or is it all spoke for?
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for legitimate consumers. You the one flying the Unreliable? Miss Lily has been expecting you. I'll unlock the door. Hey, Doc Fenhill. Glad to see you ain't moved on from Groundbreaker yet.
Hey, Tobias. How's the leg?
Good as you left it, ma'am. Still bends and everything. A bullet went through it, most of the way. The other guy thought his ship was perfectly operational. I told him it was salvage. We disagreed. I won.
Workplace hazards, Captain. Pretty routine around here.
Sure am. A few years back, they got me started on simple acquisitions. You know those latches they put on cargo bays ain't worth a damn? These days, I stick to HQ and look after Miss Lilia.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Saves me the work of hunting you down. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing you already know about Sublight, otherwise you wouldn't have come. Charmed. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my contractor. I'd recognize that leaky boat of his anywhere. I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a reliable set of wings. But there's a catch.
Wouldn't be much fun without one.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? One of my guys in Stellar Bay has a lead on some high-grade salvage, but he went dark before he could spill the goods. We arranged a drop at the Saltuna warehouse's loading dock. Find whatever he left there and take it to Fallbrook. My gal Catherine will be expecting you. When the board pulled out of Monarch, they buried or sealed anything they couldn't carry off-world. Apparently, one of Catherine's teams uncovered an abandoned lab with full tanks of Alta Vitae gas. It's exactly 1 million bits per cubic meter. Before you get too excited, the only thing rarer than Alta Vitae gas is a reliable buyer. Dangerous stuff. Acid for the nucleon in your cells. It's no good to anyone outside of a lab.
But it can be a lot of fun, if you don't mind the possibility of rewiring your body on an atomic level.
You and I have different notions of fun, Dr. Fenhill. Now, get going. Catherine will brief you on the details when you check in with her at Fallbrook. One last thing. When you're on the job, keep a pair of eyes in the back of your head. Understood? Could be. You'll do fine. Probably nothing to worry about. Probably.
Good enough for me. Sublight's always got plenty of work. Good gig if you don't mind where the bits come from.
Good, you're back. Not that I missed you. I assure you, I am not capable of such emotional capacity.
Hey, Captain. I hope I wasn't too much bother at the bar. I did have fun, and I tried some things I never would have otherwise. And I don't feel it today. I guess that water must have worked. I'm glad I had you looking out for me. I wouldn't mind having a drink again. Someday. I messaged Junlei when we got back, and she replied super quick. Okay. I was awake half the night, thinking about what I sent, anxious to see what you said. I reread my message in the morning, and it was unclear. I was drinking when I sent it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the courage. Also, I've ruined things in the past because I didn't say things I should have, like, I've met someone who's become special to me. I want to be honest with her, so if she feels the same about me, there won't be any surprises. Oh, isn't she sweet? Like one of those two-bit romances where one soul's all stiff and... I ought to go write her back. I mean, I already did. Twice.
We are now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain. No blockade is a match for my piloting skills.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in. don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right? You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic, us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna and halcyon. Please state your name for the records. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill. We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are Sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago. Mr. Sandra will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor? I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next Sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in? Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding. All over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. Don't interrupt, it's rude. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you? If you think this is drunk, I gotta, you need to get out more. Sit, partake, buy me a drink and let's chat. Another in a long line of damn fools trying to cut me off. I'll buy my own poison then. What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger? Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set. Well, they work. We got a deal or what?
Velma seem out of sorts to you? always cranky.
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse... Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet...
Quite the bedside manner, lady.
Well, it's so rare, What can Auntie Abigail... And what a helpful young man you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits.
Whiskey helps, too.
Please leave medical advice to the... Now, dearie, who's this pickup for?
Don't blame me if I puke on your shoes.
Aren't you? I may not be a fresh young thing anymore, but with age comes Much as I'd love to, my rheumatism is especially fierce at the moment, and I'm all out of my medicine. But I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. You were here for Caffeinoid, weren't you? Who's it for? Now, there's no keeping secrets from Auntie Abigail. I'll tease it. Also, Indeed. Now, how about you tell Auntie who this pickup's for? I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts and the marauder filth chasing away what little trade we get, I'm afraid I have to reserve my supply for Stellar Bay residents. Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it a shame what some people will do to get a little extra? Isn't it just? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there anyone else needing a special pickup from Auntie Abigail? Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of... Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't... If so, I would love to know where. Sublights.
I'd hope not. Fleecing's the mark of a real professional.
Believe me, there's nothing I'd love better than to help you. But there's not much I can do. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I... Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the... And to keep an extra key to the supply room. For all the times Dr. The one upstairs, where we store our medicines. In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the Flower of Enlightenment. On the way, he tried some rather daring substance combinations. The graveyard's near the southern ruins. You're certainly welcome to pay our respects, but the bodies tend... Do be careful. I'd hate for anything to happen to you. Chin up. If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick up her own... Hello again, dearie. What can I get you?
Get another advance, Mr. Nandi? Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today? You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it. But if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grim wore her patience thin a long time ago. Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid. Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really. So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else. Sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about... Would you? Oh.
Hey, Velma, I got your caffeinoid.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry. Sorry. Seems I got my cables crossed. Thought you were another shakedown tough from... Hope you can forgive my temper. This job is... First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing. This again? I swear, this is the last time I contract for any special requests. You can tell Grim his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer for it. So now it's going to Nell. That about cover it? It's staying locked up in my office until Nell shows with her money. No. I paid Sublight for it. So, it's mine. And when Nell pays me for it, it'll be hers. Grim may have asked for the poster, but it's not his until I take his money. Sure can. If you want to pay me more than Nell's offering. I got a feeling you and Catherine would get on like tumors on a pig. Take the poster then. And if I never hear another word about it, it'll be too soon. Something else on your mind? Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of work. I would if I weren't busy here picking up his slack. Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here. Stealing such a... And we're not like...
Smells like rat. Have you had time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's come in. Sorry, I just get so excited, and I always feel like I miss everything that happens in town while I'm up here. Would you look at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink on Mr. Holcomb's signature. I can't thank you enough. And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker, too. Never get the chance to use it these days.
You're back. Good news? Bad news? All of the above?
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh? Braxton. I've never even heard of a Braxton. Got nothing for you, sorry.
Dilated pupils, anxious posture, muscle spasms. She's high on some quality stuff.
No, okay? Braxton always has a good stash, and I just like to let loose a little. Stop thinking about the marauders and the raptidons outside, you know? He told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick, and he had some meds on. So maybe look for him.
We're in agreement that this Braxton is probably dead, right? Gruesome way to die.
Not much I can do for this guy.
Wrapped mask and painted eyes, right here.
Reminds me of the crew cabin on one of my first ships.
The trick is not to breathe through your nose.
I have your back.
Time for a drink?
I wonder what secrets these ruins contain.
Think they left anything good behind?
Here they come. Down they go.
Get it up! Get it up!
That's the last of them.
A visitor? What an unexpected surprise!
I, for one, welcome a reprieve from our travels. That is, if you'll have us, kind sir.
That's the spirit. Now come in. Make your... I'm afraid we don't get many visitors out here. The Raptidons and Marauders scare off all but the boldest. And if you've braved them, you must be exhausted. Why don't you stay for... I'm sure I would remember something like that. Now, quit fretting yourself about that. Make yourself at home.
Oh, hello there. You come for... Sorry, I'm not real good with, name. It just gets hard to remember things. I recall moments. Other times, it's like there's fog. Sorry, have we talked about this before? That's nice of you. I usually feel better after I eat. Mama said dinner's almost ready, huh?
Oh, hi there. Did you come to bring us more of those rocket candies? That's wonderful. There was this other man who used to bring them. Not anymore, though. He said they were making us sick. Mom and Papa got real mad at him for that.
Some kind of off-brand drug, maybe? Wouldn't be the first or the worst.
They went to have a talk with him. Afterwards, they said he wasn't coming back again. I don't know. I'm not really He said they were making us... Mama and Papa said he came from the city. When we got sick one time, he brought those candies to make us well again. And they worked. Now we feel better than ever. Mama says they're a gift from the Eternal.
Think they'll...
What are you doing in my room? Liar! You're trying to steal the last of my rocket candies, aren't you? The ones that come in a bottle with a rocket ship on it. Like the other man you...
What a pleasant surprise. And just when I was beginning to fear we'd seen the last of good company for a spell. Yet the Eternal provides.
Only if you give yourself over to the plan, Martha. May I call you Martha?
By all means, just make yourself comfortable. Company is always... The Eternal does not desire that we huddle and hide, crowded in by walls. We all share this. Out here, we are free. And even apart from society. That they do. Though it's up to us to make the most of those opportunities. Look at me, prattling on as...
You must be famished. So are we, my friend, but... Is it sticking again? I'm afraid nothing out here works the way it used to. There's a bit of a trick to jimmying it open. I'll see to it once we've finished dinner. I do appreciate your patience. I'd hate to serve company with anything but the best, though.
I hope you favor ketchup and woolly cheddar. We have to make do with what we can find.
Nice to meet you. Wait, did I already...
You must be famished.
Spacer's Choice pills, they cure all your ills.
I hope you favor ketchup and woolly cheddar. We have to make do with what we can find.
You must be... Please, there's no need for incivility. Though I certainly understand how I promise I'll get the door open once we've had our meal. Until then, why don't you stretch your legs a bit?
They're in my...
that armor!
Try something stronger!
I thought I'd seen the worst of humanity before.
Who does something like this?
Who wants to play an impromptu tossball match? No one? Really?
Hello again, dear. Such a pity, isn't it? But I suppose it's an important reminder that one can have too much of a good thing. Even... Well, this certainly isn't worth my good health. I'll get you a dose, but I'll have you know, I'm very disappointed in you. There. And...
Ooh, you're the new face. Wow, you must be... So who do you follow? Wait, don't tell me. You look like a Hammersmith Thunder fan. No? Aren't they just? When I get to worrying about the marauders outside, the raptidons chewing at the walls, I just turn my transceiver up to drown it all out. Most of the time it's static on account of the frequency being clogged up, but sometimes... So, what can I do for you? Poor Isaac. I was wondering why I hadn't seen him in a few days. I'd really like to help. Isaac was a sweet fellow, even if he did have terrible... I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his buddies pushing Isaac around. They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town, drop supplies off behind the warehouse, and spend the rest of their stay getting rowdy over tossball games. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into trouble with one of them. Mr. Sanjar will be pleased to hear about it when you're done. I know he gets fed up with the Fallbrook bullies, but there's not much he can do.
I hear those rich people in Byzantium pay a handsome bit for rat musk.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbow. That he's got his load on and I'm stuck covering his shift? That's... Wow. I sure feel like an ass now. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on Catherine herself. Still, it's good to know what happened to him. And that I ought to start looking for a replacement. Something else on your mind? Caleb Herrick runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials. He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I... You mind
This is the simple truth. We are all molecular machines.
New face, huh? A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here,
Let me buy you a drink. Consider it. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell, and revel with us? Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking. It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor, Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay. Sure thing. What did you want to discuss? If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better. The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no proof they're true. I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma's taking a cut off the profits. So far, it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon. What do you think you're doing? Just keep your fingers to your own self, okay?
You're back. Good news? Bad news? All of the...
Says someone who's never had any fun.
Exactly. See? I'm glad someone on your crew's got some sense of... Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes.
That was fast. I gotta see about stalking some on the ship.
You be careful. The first one's free. After that, they'll offer you gainful employment. Great. Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly called. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like hunting, right? If you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River. That said, 3's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
Mighty big gun you got there. I'm looking forward to seeing you use it.
You look like a preacher. You a traveling vicar?
In a manner of speaking.
Stellar Bay had a vicar once. He took it upon himself to convince Graham's folk to come back to the corporate fold. Kept making the trip between the city and Amber Heights by foot. Kept getting himself into all sorts of scrape. Day came when I found a book of his in the middle of a raft encampment. Hand still gripping it, too.
The plan unfolds as the plan unfolds. To Vicar and layman alike.
Yeah.
We're here, light years from Earth, going about our lives.
Every time...
A vicar, huh? You a true believer, or do you just like the tithes?
Why, that's borderline offensive, Ms. Ramnareem Wentworth. Of course I believe. The tithes are merely...
Hey! What are you doing here? This is our secret. Berta already pissed by those crates to market. Listen, that purple-toothed twerp had it coming. Not that anyone has proof. And not that it's any of your business.
Watch out, Kristen! That ain't working! Tough!
God!
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26 points?
You've often posed these...
Clear my schedule. This new Celia, will you make a note of that from...
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Out at Devil's Peak?
Damn right.
But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna. Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but... thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for...
Something to be said for perseverance. I endeavor to persevere.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal.
Exactly. Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged for...
I don't know what intellectualism means, but if someone's willing to build us a few practical things around here, I ain't gonna judge them on account of their beliefs.
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very...
Indeed. Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI...
On our terms, mind you. Not if we secure the proper safeguards first.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt, if you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one.
And you'll have a
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halsey. In the old arms building southwest of town. Do be. Oh, and what can I do for you? But that's terrible. What happened? But that means we won't be able to log their testimonies. If there's one thing I've been hoping to re-establish in Stellar Bay, it's proper documentation for legal matters. Always a shame when tempers get the better of good sense. Still, your intervention in the matter is much appreciated. Please consider this payment for your services. Then it's good that I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own by. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra. As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards.
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice. The hazards just gave them a reason to put to paper.
Sharp as ever. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to.
And how did that work out?
Most regard Monarch as a lost cause, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently. Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and
Without the board, chaos would overtake the system.
Yeah, that'd go a long way toward rebuilding.
To be on the board is to be part of the Indeed, if membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that... Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relation. Oh, believe me, I've learned. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows, perhaps... What can I do for you? I see. Well, that's excellent. What else can I do for you?
Poor Braxton.
I don't
Wouldn't mind
want to
smell.
think about
At least Grim's done
Eaten by-
bombing. Or else leaving any disease is gonna send her off.
No, just a...
Wouldn't mind smelling like Satura. It's so wonderful.
I'd give you a friend.
Who spat in your
You notice my mood?
I could be seeing triple and I'd still think you're being unkind.
Will you try wrangling half a ton? Anyway, what do you folks need? Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a grounds... Something else on your mind? Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again? Tell him to complain to Catherine in Fallbrook, not me. Sublight's demanding more money for the same contracts, which means we're all in the same boat. Hard workers? They turn dials and flip switches. The machines do all the act. Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else around here, I'll tell you that much. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate. Same thing as me. Where's your proof? Because I know no one's been poking around my terminal lately.
I'm in the wrong business if a woman this dense can get away with robbing her company.
Just as a hypothetical. Nothing to see on my terminal, of course. Because I've done nothing wrong. For running me ragged while he takes an extended leave at the bar? Not on your life. Maybe so, but I bet you Caleb runs out of bits first. Then he'll have to come. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all talk, but if the money's real, I bet you he keeps it at home. Near the diner. Fine by?
They'll never see us. Can we talk? Hey, got a favor to ask you. Figure while we're out here in the wilderness anyhow, we might stop in on an old friend of mine. Preferably before we get to Hiram's. It's on the way, don't worry. You don't seem the type to run off and get yourself killed, and I could use... Well, I'll be upfront with you. I hate asking. But this, what I'm thinking, it's... Really? Here I was stealing myself for a never... I used to run with a band of hunters. Friends. 6 of us. We were on Monarch when the corporations pulled out, and we helped a lot of people pick up the pieces. I haven't seen 2 of them in years, and the rest I know to be dead. I'd like to gather their effects and bury them all in the same places, with the family we... First, we go to Hayes. I buried him a ways from our encampment. I'll show you where he... Then we find my 2 lost trackers and bring them home. A long time ago. If we can find... I'm going!
Hold on to your hats, children. This ride is about to get ugly.
You... Get used to it. Give it 10 or 15.
Incoming! Everyone all right?
Big...
What's that?
Careful. Only things you'll find in the ruins are liable to shoot you or eat you. Or both.
I believe this place has seen better days.
Go!
Careful, you're wounded! Captain, behind you! Pass that armor!
Perhaps for boots? Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Mantiqueen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here and, now the door's locked. Little help? It's easier than it sounds, all right? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you let me know the rationality of your decision. Phew. Thanks, mister. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. He locked me in here and took off. Probably got munched. So look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Maybe it's in a rat belly. Gross. What do you mean? Wait, upward? Oh, my eternal soul!
Ah, phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe I was gonna die. Now I'm out here, and I'm headed back to Amber Heights.
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh, you're traveling with someone. Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy and... Hey, who's your... What? I ain't got nothing on. Can do. Thanks a lot, mister.
Good old Stellar Bay. Only place on the planet that don't stink of sulfur. On account of its stinking.
Is it true that manta queens devour their mates after copulation?
Well, I see you've had a sobering effect on our friend Neo.
Sir, please stop.
Forgive me, Celia. I couldn't help myself. Anyway, what can I do for you? You weren't supposed to look. I asked you to delete it. Yes, but then you would have known. This has been my albatross. The great shame of my career. I give MSI everything. My work, my youth, my left kidney. One of the executives I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospect. Apparently not. Yeah, in charge of a scrap heap of a city. I hadn't thought of it that way. But perhaps there's... Thank you for that. Was there something else? Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less. What a question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon, and proper documentation is a key part. For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our... Corporate espionage. How was that, Celia? Did I...
Your best delivery yet.
Celia?
Already noted for...
I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on Monarch.
Mr. Nandi may be correct. If the masses learn that the board disregards their own ordinances, it'd give rise to dissent. MSI could use this information to their advantage.
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the... You really think so? I admit, I've been... If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are. That's...
Don't get yourself worked up, sir. It's perfectly natural to have a healthy fear.
We really don't need to discuss this. Oh, But as much as I love your can-do attitude and dangerous gravitas, Catherine, so it would be best if you could leave her in one piece. Once you, subtly work out where this corporate facility might be, bring back a foolproof...
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? What did he say? He doesn't talk much, but he's... Plus, he's... Sorry.
Hey, Max. What does your religion say happens to us after we die?
The body.
If you were in charge, would you keep the board around?
Of course. Even with all their faults, they are the best chance to maintain order in the colony.
I suppose I can appreciate the structure of things. Long as the folks at the top have got the right heads on their shoulders. I don't mean to judge, but are you ever sober, Miss Remnorine Wentworth? Only when I got a job to do, and even that ain't a guarantee.
Here they come!
That armor!
this way. Watch it, Captain. Gotta find a hole in the armor. That's the last of them. My eye!
Incoming! They shouldn't have stood in our way.
Come out! Here.
This is bad! One down! Can't get past that armor!
Watch your feet. Sulfur fumes coming for show off.
I'll take care of them.
Oh!